Are you guys ready? Because we're on the
Yeah.
road to Incubus Part 2. I'm here with the anxious rambler herself, Cass, in this incarnation. You're going to introduce your co-host for this part because I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not technically savvy enough, apparently,
Yeah.
to figure out headphones for myself.
This is the infamous from episode 1, Anna Ruge-Rodela, currently of Chicago, Illinois.
That's right. Hello.
She's an Elgin, right? You got to
Elgin.
Oh,
yes.
Or maybe she wants
now.
to claim Chicago instead.
Now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently a lot of people from the Chicago suburbs say they're from Chicago anyway, but I
Right.
lived in Chicago for 18 years, so I think I've earned that. So
Has it been 18 years?
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I lived there 2007 to 2008, and I can't believe it's been that long. But we've been
2005 I moved, so that's almost 18, right? That was
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably coming up on 19.
Shut it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got to start out here and give me kind of your overall impressions of the concert. Of course, the first part that we went over was some of Cassie's favorite Incubus songs, and they're doing this whole tour. Morning View playing the album straight through. We weren't quite sure if they were going to, but I wanted to get just kind of initial impressions from you guys, or excitement leading up to it. Even it was such a memorable weekend with even the place we went to eat first. There's a little moment that happened there. So wherever you guys want to kick it off.
Yeah. Do you want me to start?
Or
you?
I'll say, Incubus, I don't know if Cassie has told you, but when we first met freshman year of college in 2001, I didn't, you don't know anyone on the dorms, and I didn't know anything about Cassie except that she liked Incubus and that she dressed cool. Really, that was it. And then I think I can't really remember the first time that we hung out, but when you were here this weekend, the other weekend, you said that you came to ask my roommate if she wanted to go to Kirkwood to go shopping, and she wasn't there, and I said, I'll go with you. And then I think that's really what started, right, all of our adventures. But Incubus was the spark, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was it. And I think that night, my cousin Aaron, had a party, and we had so much fun on Kirkwood that I took you to his apartment, and that was it.
Yeah,
we were locked in then, sharing clothes, going to parties, meeting each other's parents. So full-blown relationship after that.
That's so
yeah. I already forgot what your question was. We were getting nostalgic.
So what I was asking is for you guys just to give some initial impressions of the weekend and just kicking it off with the Italian restaurant. We had the moment there with the song.
Yeah, we got there on Friday and then went out to eat, and we were being very nostalgic in the restaurant, telling stories from college. And then the speakers outside were playing music, and then we heard Drive came on, and we got very giddy and excited.
It was fate. We were so excited. I mean, I haven't heard that, playing in any restaurant, in any venue, in 20 years. So
yeah, I know. So that was wild, and it just felt a little bit kismet in that moment. So that was great.
Sometimes I feel the fear of uncertainty staying clear.
Yeah, and then the concert was the next night, and I was really excited for the concert for just the nostalgia of the fact that it was the Morning View tour,
Yes.
and I was excited to hear the album. I did not know if they were going to play it like track one through
Right.
whatever, what to expect, but yeah. And to be honest, I don't know that I paid a lot of attention to what was happening around us other than just like our group of four. So as far as the atmosphere, I mean, the atmosphere was really cool. People were really excited, but I was so in the moment that all I really remember is on. I looked at Aaron a few times and Daniel was
Appreciate
so
that.
cute. He was just like smiling, like smirking and bobbing his head along. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I was really kind of surprised that I was thinking, okay, it's Morning View. They re-recorded this album. It's gonna be a bunch of, 40-something people there. But when we got there, I was really surprised. I was like, there were some younger people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of younger people. And I was
Yeah.
shocked. I did not expect that. So
Right.
I was surprised, and then come to find out later, I had told my boss that my best friend from college, best friend, but she's also,
Yes. Best
and we
friend.
met in
College.
college,
Yes. Yes.
and she, we went to a concert this weekend, and she said, "What did you see?" And "Who did you see?" And I said, "Incubus." And she said her daughter, who's 23, went to see them.
Whoa.
And she goes, "Yeah, her daughter was like lead singer, So Hot Mom," but which
We'll
isn't
get
wrong,
into
but
that.
she claims that she's always loved them, right? And so
Huge.
I just think, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was at this age. I didn't know, but
I
that was
didn't know
amazing.
either. Yeah. My nephew, Tyler, who's 16, he's going to be 17 soon. He loves Weezer
Mhm.
and Foo Fighters. And I asked him over the summer if he knew or had heard of Incubus. And he was like, "Yeah, I've heard of them." And I was like,
Wow.
"Dang right you have."
Did it?
But
Yeah.
yeah, we took him to the Louder Than Life festival last September. And yeah, having been to that, I wasn't really sure what to expect here because the crowd was very much people in their like 40s, 50s that were still chain smoking cigarettes and, um, maybe like still in the mindset of like the late 90s. And so I wasn't sure if we would be like in that crowd, if it would be a smaller crowd. But I mean, it was the only difference was, of course, there wasn't the mosh pit. It was the Morning View album.
Right.
Yeah, Anna and I survived that mosh pit like fucking bosses when we
It's
would
big.
go back in
Yeah.
the day, though. Yeah, we did. But yeah, I was really surprised. And I always think it's sweet when, people our age that have little kids too, you see them take their kids to
Yeah.
those concerts. There was a few little kids there.
And
So
And I'll say, like, I don't know what this means, but it feels like when you see a younger crowd there as well, it felt like it gave me kind of a sense of validation that
yes.
it was like, you know what, this band that we really loved for so long, made it through the test of time, like
Yes. Yeah.
right, not, I just, it was kind of fun.
Yeah. I fully
I was,
agree.
Mhm.
Very surprised. It was great. So what else do you have for us, Aaron?
Well, I had to go into the stage presence because one of the things that I loved about Incubus back in the day for myself was just the vibes of the band. They were besides this album in particular, really enjoying it. They had certainly a vibe or an aesthetic that I really appreciated. So I wanted to see your guys' impressions of how that's aged and how they've kind of crafted themselves as older gentlemen.
Can I start this one? Because I don't know. I think I equally enjoyed Anna's commentary and excitement to what I was watching. Because like I watched a few clips of them now to sort of prepare myself, because Anna knows how I get like infatuated by people and bands, and we both were equally infatuated with Incubus and Brandon Boyd. And some of the things that we loved about him was his stage presence. And I thought, okay, I want to be prepared for it. But I didn't watch any full concerts. I think I watched like a Jimmy Kimmel clip of them. And I honestly was not expecting an Incubus show of Your, and I feel like we got that. It
Oh yeah.
felt the same. I mean, it felt nostalgic, but just yeah. I mean, it was that like excitement of the past, but also just like I feel like my head used to kind of explode, but my heart was exploding too at the same time.
And yeah, and I think Daniel, who my fiance, who hasn't ever been a big Incubus fan, but you said
Right.
you looked over at him and he was enjoying it and everything. I think it's
Was.
because also it was the lights were really cool. It was
Yeah,
like kind of psychedelic, of course, and so
right.
that was such a good vibe. But as far as their stage presence, he still had the same like microphone moves and his like swaying dancing and
Yes.
like that like kind of tai chi
Yes. And
move.
I
Yeah.
mean, he looks great. Like
Yes.
it
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's been 20 years for Brandon Boyd, other than being more of a silver fox now. But uh, Anna's constant, it's still the same. It's still the same. Was just making me so happy. Or I should say we would say it to each other, but your like genuine surprise and excitement was so much fun for me, and it made me so happy. And I knew that we would have a really good time, but it beat my expectations
Yeah.
for sure. I
And
mean,
for 100%.
yeah,
And I think I was so excited, Aaron, because like, when you go to these, reunion, it wasn't a reunion. They've been touring, but
right.
it was, like you're
It was
saying,
a
it's
reunion for
great.
us
It
for
was,
sure
it
too.
was. So I had my expectations, I was managing those, right? Like in the sense of,
Right,
we're not, he's not 23 years old anymore. I mean, I'm not 20. So
right.
I didn't expect, I didn't expect it. So when he still had, the moves and everything, I was really excited.
Yeah,
Everyone, I think, in the whole arena could probably tell.
right. Yeah. I would love to see footage of, I mean, we had incredible seats too.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have beat with being on the floor, all being the same, when of course, everyone was standing up, being at the same level. It's hard to see over people sometimes, especially for me. I'm a few inches shorter than you. And we had front row seats in the first section A. So as the seats start to go up like stadium seats, we were in the first row, and maybe like 13 rows to the left of the stage. So it was like an absolute perfect view of, I felt like we were like 30 feet from Mike, which we
Yes.
love Mike.
Love.
And we had a really sweet moment with Mike back in 2002. And and when they look around and like notice their crowd, we were like, I think Mike saw us. Like,
Yeah.
can you remember us from 23 years
Yeah,
ago?
Cassie
Sure.
was saying, oh yeah, he definitely remembers.
Who could forget this duo and our pure excitement? You have like all these like dudes in there. What was the brand that when Dirk was in the band, he used to wear like the
Was it
like
Stussy?
yes, and then there was like DC was that shoe
Oh, DC, yeah.
and all of those. But I even lost what I was saying. I was so excited. Yes, dudes like that. That's who was in the mosh pit. It was all of those like skater dudes pushing each other around, and then you have these two like happy girls just
Yeah, no
jumping up
match
and
for
down.
Cassie.
No, but I would get that super strength and push people.
I
Like,
know.
we are not moshing. We are watching this show. Get out of the way. I once shifted an entire crowd at a Vines concert.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys remember that? Rachel used to talk about that. Like, there was a guy with dreads that fell into us, and she used to always be like, and then all of a sudden, Cassie just took her elbow, and the whole crowd shifted to the right. It's like, when I'm watching someone that we love, don't push us out of the way. We've been standing here in the freezing cold for 5 hours to get in. Don't push us. But yeah, our
Oh.
view was great and they sounded great. It felt
Yes.
like it used to be, but there was like such a sense of like just fun. Like there was nothing, bands that are like promoting a new album, it's you really want to sell it and continue to tour and gain more fans, but it's like a nothing to lose thing.
Yeah.
Like this is fun. This is for
Or
fun and
you're just playing to get through it and to get the paycheck, right? That was not the vibe.
yeah,
It was great.
it was great. But yeah, I loved the shock value at how it wasn't just like, oh, like, we stood still and watched, like, cute. Remember when it used to be this way? But it was like, holy shit, it's
Yes, it was
so excited.
It was. I was shocked.
Yeah. I love that Aaron caught on video too that moment during Wish You Were Here of you and I, where like you leaned it, which I feel like we were embracing the majority of the time. But yeah, he caught on video that was like the third song in. So yeah, so that was great. We could probably talk about the nostalgia of it the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
What did you think of the way that the band brought in nostalgia? Because I thought it was interesting with the changeover to the new bass player that Brandon used that pretty effectively to like kind of tongue-in-cheek poke at the
like how young she was. Yeah.
But they did a good job like acknowledging like, and I think that made it feel more authentic and less like we're just listening to a jukebox. Like it felt like a real show in that way. Yeah,
especially today. It's very cool that they have a female bass player. I wish that it could have been Anna. But yeah.
No. Yeah, my hands are too small and too delicate. I don't even know.
Anna doesn't
never a good bass player.
Hands and feet. Yeah. But though she did make a comment about wait, what? Oh, referred to when they did a cover of the Beatles Come Together. She said something about it being a top 40s hit, and that sort of blew our minds. We were like, honey, that is not a top 40s hit. You're talking about the Beatles here.
Yeah, I'm so upset. Really got it. That really concerned me. Yeah. Didn't like that, but she did a fantastic job.
My gosh, she's a great
she didn't say
player.
That. Maybe she was, people say things when they're, I don't know, nervous or new, but
yeah, she's badass. I love that it's female. I love that, that it's a young woman as well, and she's super talented. And so Anna and I have been through 3 Incubus bass players now. We had Dirk. And then he was replaced with Ben, who was in the Roots.
Okay.
And
what year?
I think shortly after Morning View. So like 2003, maybe. I don't know that. I think we got to see Dirk during the like 8 times that we saw them together. And
Oh,
then
I did not appreciate it at that time.
I
don't-
know. Well,
Yeah.
we were like locked in on Mike and Brandon,
It's true.
and maybe Jose is fun
Yeah.
too. I always liked him. But then I think by the time Ben came in, we were sort of into our next phase into like 2003. But
Mhm.
which will be part of another podcast that I also want to bring Anna into, the shift from Incubus to sort of the London or Europe invasion and Aussie invasion that took over after that, and a few American bands as well, which Anna and I have a plan for. We'll let you know at the end of the podcast what we're expecting for our next one. But yeah, so we had Ben, and Aaron told me, because I saw that Ben, I think, was still with them up until last year, but he's having some health
Mhm.
problems, and he's the one who recommended this girl to come in to play with them, which I thought was really cool too, of him
Yeah,
to
she was fantastic. She was
Yeah.
very cool. I loved it. She
yeah,
did fantastic. Fantastic.
she did. So yeah.
I mean, we were on Mike's side, so that was kind of like the
And
focus.
the funny thing is Mike used to be on the left.
Right.
Our left.
Remember, because that's where we got the guitar.
Yeah. But you know what I did?
Move.
I watched when they were on Jimmy Kimmel a few months ago, and he was on the right. So
You did not. You did. You
I
got
did it on purpose.
You're so smart.
Yeah. So when I say I did a little research, it was mostly to see which side Mike was on, so that I could make sure we were on his side
I'm so glad you did.
for nostalgia's sake. So yeah, Mike was great. He's just like the most precious, like he's so talented, but seems like he just really enjoys it too. And
100%.
takes in his band, but also takes in the crowd. And I love that.
Yeah.
So,
And the crowd appreciates him too. You could tell.
absolutely.
A lot of people were yelling for Mike as well. So it wasn't, he hopefully he felt the love too.
I'm sure he did.
We yelled it for him a
Yes,
lot.
we did. Yes, we did. Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta take us to some songs,
Okay.
and I'm gonna make you participate in a draft, Anna. So
Whoa.
be prepared. But first, I just want to start off generally. Any highlights? Like, what were your favorite songs? Why did they stand out? We kind of wondered if they were going to play the whole Morning View album, and
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
So that you could pick anything from that. But they played the hits, had a couple of covers that, like you mentioned. So
Yeah.
I don't know where you guys want to go first, but what were some favorite standout songs?
Yeah. Oh, it's hard to decipher on Morning View because it was exciting as a whole album. And even though Wish You Were Here is the one that I'm sure I used to be like, oh, that's the one that all the bros know.
Right.
We really had
It was
a
really
moment
good.
to that. I mean, that really was great. Yeah. You agree? Anything
Yes.
to add to that?
Pardon me. I love that it's not on, it's on Make Yourself. It's not on
Yeah.
Morning View.
I think that made it really exciting too, though, was that like we got through Morning View and weren't sure, like, are we done? And then they got into some hits. Yeah. Pardon Me and Stellar were super exciting.
Stellar was so good. And then I really liked, Are You In? Because I'm just, into the,
Agree.
like, I was concerned too about his voice, but he nailed it,
Yeah,
and
he
so
did. I wasn't sure either.
That's why I was so impressed.
Do you
And I mean,
remember too in Are You In? They broke into In the Air Tonight, Phil
yes,
Collins.
yes. I
That
do remember.
was so much fun and so great and unexpected.
Highlight.
Yeah, that was such a highlight for sure. Yeah, Aaron's playing the air drums right now behind me.
That's what I do all the time. But Daniel's the drummer. He calls me out all the time. He just laughs.
Daniel, and then they did Vitamin from Science.
Oh gosh, yes. I was hoping it was.
He broke out the bongos on
Yes, the bongos. Because we saw him on stage, and you were like the bongos.
Yeah, and don't be disappointed for those who are listening and loved Brandon Boyd. He did peel off layers of clothes.
He did.
He came out in his leather jacket, and we were like, I'm sorry. When have you ever worn a leather jacket? Are you wearing that for us? Like the black and blonde rock and roll team?
Right.
I think I was like, he's wearing a leather jacket. He's wearing a leather jacket. Then that came off, and he had, I think, like a tank top on.
Yes.
And then the tank came off, and we were like, is it 2001, 2002? It
And
felt
he looked
just like it. He
He
looked
looked
great.
great.
He's 47.
I also like the warning. Warning.
Oh, Warning is
because-
so good.
It was so good just because I pulled up the set list just so I could remember, and then it's
Yeah,
they
same.
played it after Mexico, right? And then I think that's just where it kind of came back to. I was like, oh, he's really still belting it out, like, because that's
Yeah.
I'm not even going to pretend to sing. I
No.
really want to, but where you have to kind of belt it and use diaphragm.
Yes.
It sounded
That's
beautiful.
what I was going to say. I always tell Aaron that, like, he sings from his diaphragm. When
Mhm.
you listen to him and how controlled he is, when he does not even go high or low, and how long he can carry a note. I don't know
Yeah.
if he, like, loves him and loved his voice, but I don't know until I got older and got into more music that I realized how controlled and
impressive
talented.
that is. Yes, 100%. No,
Really impressive.
exactly. So I was really impressed.
Yeah.
That's my 40-some-year-old brain now appreciates it in different ways.
Yeah. Proud of you for
The
that.
highlight.
I'm proud of you for that. You had a 40-something-year-old brain 20 years ago too, so
Lol. I had like it with an 80-year-old body.
never. Anna looks fantastic always. She embraced the geriatric age group, and we loved that about her. That's what no one gets excited to age, and Anna was always like, I love old ladies. I love it.
I do.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I still do.
All right.
Are you ready for the draft?
We have to do a draft of our
I
top.
thought that
Yeah, I
was
can get
the
in
I
on
thought
this.
it was too. Anna and I are too nice and
So what's
probably
the
can't pick.
Oh, it'll be
What's
fine.
He
the draft?
loves these, Anna,
I'll
that you
go
have to
first.
pick 3 songs from the concert
Right.
for what? Like to
that like were your favorite.
Yeah.
Right? That's
I thought that's what we
doesn't
were
it?
doing.
I know.
Okay.
Then decide who had the best 3.
Oh, he loves the competition of it. All right. Aaron,
I'll let
tell
you, I'll
us.
let you go first, because otherwise I know what I'm
I
gonna
always
say.
cheat, Anna, and I have like
What?
8 of them. Like when we do these drafts of like top 5 favorite whatever. I would not have thought that I would have picked Wish You Were Here, but the reason that I did was because of that. Like I think that's when the excitement didn't calm, but I think that's when I really like soaked in the moment of what was happening and had our moment. I feel like we embraced each other that entire time, but thanks to Aaron's video that I really like remember locking that in. Hard not to pick Are You In, but okay. Well, it's one. We all do one 3 times.
That's right.
Okay,
It's a
Anna's
draft.
next.
That's it.
Oh, so
It's like
Anna can't take Wish You Were
can't.
Here?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. Gone.
So what? So now it's my turn.
Yeah,
and
but you can't
I
take the
had
same
to-
song that I took.
So I just pick one song.
Yes.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to pick Warning because it was so. It just hit me
Yeah.
in
That's
a
all,
way
that's all
that
you need to really say. Yeah.
in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. You like kind of feel it in your gut or like
And it was
wow.
like later in the set, and everyone was vibing, and the lights were.
Yeah, it was a vibe for sure.
It was a vibe. All
And
right.
I can see his swaying back and forth. All right, Aaron.
What'd she take? You have to tell
She
me.
took Warning.
Warning. That's a great one. I'm taking Circles.
Ah,
My
Aw.
first pick because I felt like that's the crowd. Like, Nice to Know You, everybody was like going crazy, but I feel like Circles was like, oh my gosh, we're really
Yeah.
doing this. And the wood roof and the
It was so good.
horizon just has
So
a
good.
great sound.
Yeah.
You could hear it like bouncing off the back of
True.
the stadium.
Mhm.
Everyone was singing all the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do too much of it, but I was pumped.
Yeah. Is it back to me?
It's back to you.
Well, I'll take the only Science song they did,
Yeah.
Vitamin, when he whipped out the bongos. Prior to coming to Chicago, I think mostly listened to Science for like an entire week and forgot. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna remember. I remembered like every word to
my
most of the songs. And it's funny because it was not my style of music, really. Even then, like we didn't listen to anything like Incubus. Well, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we listened to after Incubus, like we listened to bands that toured with them, like Hoobastank's first album. And, because
Yeah.
I think Hoobastank opened for Incubus once. And so because we knew that we were going to see the opening band, because we always got general admission, so we would go super early to try and get in front.
yeah.
We would always try and listen to like the band that was opening for them. And we knew that because of Spelly, he had told us that Hoobastank was from Calabasas,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
like
Mhm.
Incubus, and I think he even called him like a miniature version of Brandon Boyd. So we were like, all right, well, we got to know who this is. But other than Incubus, we did not really listen to that kind of music, and there's not a lot of bands that have that style. So yeah, but I listened to Science, and I was like, I still like to listen to Science. I can still rock out to this. So I'll
That's
take
good.
Vitamin.
I mean, yeah, because I didn't know Science honestly because Make Yourself was the first intro for me. So when
right.
I met you introduced me to Science and certain shade of green, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one that I really liked. Of course,
Yeah, that one's fun.
hit or whatever if they had,
Yep.
how the hit would go.
Yeah,
So you
that
picked that one,
too.
the Vitamin.
Okay. Yep. So it's you now.
I'm gonna take Stellar.
That was on mine too. I gotta change
I
it.
had to. I felt like I had to. It was so good.
Yeah. The like kind of starry skylights.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. What a great moment too. Really taking us back to that time.
And that was that the one where they were sitting? He and Mike were sitting on the. Remember when they went to go sit together in the on the front in the middle of the stage? They sat right next to each other, and they. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. Wasn't Stella when they were sitting?
I can't remember. I think so.
Stellar. Yeah, Stellar. Yes, they did. They slowed down a few songs.
But it was-
Aaron, it's
I'm taking
Your turn.
Yeah.
Sort
Aaron
of the
took
same.
pardon.
Sort of the
Okay.
same. Sort of the
Well,
same.
son of a gun.
Just like blew the doors off. I'm sure
How
you
many
guys-
times are we just doing it until the end of the set list?
3 each. Is that what we're doing? You're
So I get-
stressing
I
on
get one more. I
out.
get one more.
Sweating.
I
Where are you
know.
going to next, Cassie?
What?
Also, we had karaoke.
We did. Oh, the night before, I forgot.
Yeah.
We did Pardon Me.
Yes, that was
Oh
so
my
fun.
gosh, we were so good. Too bad that wasn't recorded.
Cover part.
Yeah.
Who did a pretty decent job,
did.
he did, whoever covered that.
Oh, and I said I think we did as well.
Oh, we did
Yeah.
for sure.
I think
Without
we nailed it.
Christmas, Daniel can get the Tesla microphones for you guys.
Yeah, there we go.
no.
Did anyone take just starting off the entire concert with Nice to Know You? How about the
No.
moment when they come out and
I know.
it's
That's
just
amazing.
yeah,
Oh,
that
no.
moment of like
That's-
this is happening and this is real.
That's my favorite moment of any concert, right? When the lights
Yeah.
go down and
Oh my gosh, and
they
walk,
start
you
to
see
walk.
the figures.
They start to walk out, and you see like the guitarists and bass like pick up their instrument, and they just
Oh
start
my
like
gosh.
they playing, and it's yeah, it's
We've
a
had
good.
lots of those moments. They're so great. And this was a long time in the making. So yeah, I'll just nice to know you kicking off the concert and yeah, just hearing the guitar and seeing them and being like, holy shit, here we go. Yeah, that was great. Okay, Anna, you're number 3.
Okay, so your first pick, Cassie, was "Wish You Were Here,"
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And your second pick was it "Are You In"?
Vitamin.
That one. Okay, then I'll take "Are
No.
You In."
Yeah. I think that's great. I would too. That was also
That was
on
good.
my list. Yeah. Wait, did we? No, we didn't. We
I
talked
know.
about it
We
with them
did.
playing in the adding in the air tonight.
Yes, that's why.
Also, we
Yes.
apologize if it has been chosen already. This is very difficult.
I
So
know.
yeah,
That was so fun.
warning Stellar, and she took "Are You In?" So okay, yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah. All right,
I'm gonna stay
Aaron.
with a similar vibe. I'm gonna take aqueous transmission.
It was great.
Oh,
I like it.
that the
Yeah.
lights for that one.
So good.
What do you call that thing?
No idea. We should look it up.
It's like
I'll
what,
do some
um,
research and put it in the link.
Shoot, I feel like
What?
I
Like a
It
signal
was.
what
You're
that
right.
was
That was
called.
so good. What is that?
Yeah.
It's not like
I
a.
feel like that's what George Harrison played when they did their like India trip.
Yes. I mean, it's not a mandolin.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Daniel would probably know. Where's
He would,
he?
and he would. He's watching UFC, like doing a very un-Daniel thing.
Yeah,
but
it is an undaniel thing, but I like that because keeps you
keeps
guessing.
us all on our toes, right?
That's right. Yeah. All right. Where are we shifting
All right,
to next?
So I'm gonna shift to anniversary concerts in general. So just starting to wrap things up here a little bit. Would you go to another band's anniversary concert? So this is like it
Yes.
feels it's in the air a
Yes.
little bit now that some
Yes.
of the bands that we loved growing up or coming of age.
And you can't ask us to draft it because we'd probably
No,
do the
you don't have to
same
dra-
Yeah.
you don't have to
ones.
draft,
Okay.
Yeah, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to see if you could pick, and it has to be an album straight through, kind of the same
Yeah.
format.
Yep.
Not in a band that's still around. Like they're
Mhm.
doing an anniversary of their album and playing it straight through. So Weezer has done it with the Blue Album.
I
I
think
feel
on
like
it-
we can do
yeah.
a band that's still
Yeah.
around because they,
Yeah.
Incubus has been touring for. They've been constantly touring, right? Like
Yeah.
they've had other albums. It's
How
not-
much would you love to see Kings of Leon do Youth and Young Manhood straight
I don't
through?
think I could handle it. To be
Yeah.
honest. Like I think, but they don't need the hype, right? Like I
Well,
mean,
they don't, but they could do like a club tour of like what, maybe like 1,000 people. Do some like surprise concert where they just
I
sell like
can't even
1,000 tickets
talk
to
about
the
it.
Youth and Young
I'm so
Man.
excited.
Could you imagine?
but you know what? No, I couldn't imagine. I think I'm getting hot just even thinking of it. So,
Or if like the music did
or
the
what
first
about
self-titled album, the music.
Cassie?
Yeah.
What about Highly Evolved?
Don't. If the Vines did Highly Evolved from start to finish, that would be it. Bury me right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it. They could do it. And what about, and I think this one is a really good one, even though, like, what about, I mean, Parachutes?
I was thinking the same thing.
And even though, like, you and I have, like, a, kind of a personal relationship with the Rush of Blood,
Yes.
I think Parachutes, though,
Parachutes.
would be like such
I
a
agree.
good anniversary one if we're only talking about that.
Yes. Also, if I can make the whole setup, if my morning jacket, like in
Oh, that
Louisville
was,
or
oh my gosh.
in Nashville at like Exit In or like somewhere in Louisville, like an intimate venue, and they would go back to like At Dawn or It Still Moves.
Oh, it still moves. I would die. That was so
I
fun.
mean, that was
Still
just
cannot
so
believe we
2003.
got to see them so bright on the stage.
I know. We were so close all of the time. Like we were there for the beginning of the Vines, Kings of Leon, the music, My Morning Jacket. I mean,
And when you say
Coldplay was
there, you mean
big.
like seriously, like right on the stage.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was when some of them played as just like the band for like sound in the bar, not because people bought tickets to see that band, but like people were going to the bar to drink and there was a band playing.
And they
it
were
that night.
$12. The
Oh.
tickets $12. I think maybe one was $8, but like they were $12 a ticket.
I can check in my journals from 2002, but I think the tickets when we first saw the Vines and the music were $12 a
I believe it.
ticket.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
was in
Yes.
Cincinnati at Bogart's. And then I also thought about if the White Stripes would do. They
What-
had a few that we liked,
The-
but White Blood Cells was the one that came out in 2001, I think. Dead Leaves in the Dirty Ground.
Dead leaves in the dirty ground. Yes.
That would be so fun. Also, shout out to Riley Kubley, who also loves the White Stripes and was
Riley.
our friend from college and has been so sweet about telling me that he loves the podcast. So hopefully he'll be excited that Anna and I are together on this one. Hi, Riley.
Hello.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, Riley and I could anxiously ramble together, I'm sure,
Love
about
it.
all sorts of things. But yeah, he loved the White Stripes as well. Jack
Good,
is
because the
star.
White Stripes, they didn't get like the love until later. So I mean, it was people were really critical of them early on, but
I don't think people understood how talented Jack White is.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Or Craig.
incredible.
I know you could talk. You should do a podcast on Craig.
Okay, so he is. I do have early, like maybe after the first podcast we did, I do want to do one regarding basically like pop culture artists and like mental health, people that we've lost, people that we haven't lost, and because especially because of, I mean, we've all dealt with that stuff, but I very much love to share parts of my story because being back in the town that I grew up in, you can't have any mental breakdowns without the entire town knowing about it. And I've had to be very public, especially being like a business owner in a small town, about like trials and tribulations. And so I am definitely a warrior and fighter for, people who have gone through and come out on the other side and, give some love and respect to people who haven't come out on the other side, but for sure. And who knows, maybe we could call our old friends and see if they could have a, could you imagine? Maybe I could talk to Craig. I don't know if I would make it though. That would need to be recorded on video for sure. I love Craig Nichols, the lead singer of the Vines. Yeah.
I think Daniel, the other day we were driving, he was like, what was that? Like some sort of like, people say like, oh, stop being like, you're such a Karen or something. And he goes, don't they say like Craig? Like you're like, okay, Craig. And I was like, if you said that to Cassie, she'd be like so excited because she would think of Craig Nichols. Like I was like, she'd be like, oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Be a Craig.
Be a Craig.
Be creative and
Right.
wear your emotions on your sleeve, your heart. Are your heart on your sleeve?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Anna and I have our anniversary albums picked. So this episode takes off and you're listening. If you have an anniversary tour and you want any guest list tickets to hand out, Anna and I will be ready.
You're ready to do publicity.
We're ready to do publicity for My Morning Jacket at At Dawn or It Still Moves, Kings of Leon, Youth and Young Manhood, The Music, The White Stripes, White Blood
Well,
Cells,
speaking
and
of it,
Coldplay Parachutes.
Yes.
next weekend we're gonna be on the road again. Not too late. To
I
get Daniel
know.
to come along.
To jump in.
We're heading to Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and
And
back
then
to
Bourbon and
Louisville,
beyond. Yeah.
to see the War on Drugs back-to-back nights.
I would love to see the War on Drugs with Anna as well.
They could do
that
the
would
whole
be
Austin
great.
Dream album. I'm sure you'd be all right with that.
I would, but I
You might not
I
survive
would
it, but-
love an entire like 6-hour War on Drugs concert where they played every album from start to finish, or maybe like a 5 or 6 day festival, like My Morning Jacket does
One Big
their
Holiday.
One Big Holiday. Maybe the
Start
War
to
on
finish.
Drugs could do like the Lost in the Dream vacation, and
Daniel and I saw the War on Drugs at the Metro here in Chicago years and years ago because a friend of ours, or his really, wasn't using his tickets and was like, hey, I have these extra tickets if you want to go. And I was like, Cassie really loves the War on Drugs, and I really, trust Cassie's taste, so we should go. So we went, and whole mind was blown. Like I didn't text you like
you
that.
did, yes, you
'Cause I
did
was-
text me.
Mine was blown. It was so incredible. I think someone called them what, like beer, like what a Dan, like
Oh my
beer
gosh,
rock or something like he was like I'm
Yeah.
awesome, like beer rock or something.
who was
We-
it that said
I'm
that?
not gonna tell you, Cassie, because I feel like you're gonna hunt him down.
No, I will.
Concerned for their safety.
I remember reading it though too a few years ago, and I was so
Did-
fired up. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
did they
don't
get that
remind
quote from
me.
somewhere? Probably, yeah.
It was the singer of some band, but you probably shouldn't remind me, Anna, because you're right. Because I'm really on a like vengeance tour right now with the election coming up. So it's
Well,
not a
and
good.
I was just thinking, obviously, you haven't seen them, you haven't really listened to their lyrics, or you haven't really listened to them. This person didn't know what
Yeah,
they're
they don't get it.
judging right off the bat.
I
But it
would
was
throat punch that person though.
so
I
was
love
so-
that you know that though, that I will hunt people down.
Yeah, I was
and-
like, I can't tell you that for their own safety.
I love it. Yes. But yeah, that would be really just like a full circle moment. All our years together, traveling and touring, and then, being apart and finding another band that I like, that you like, coming back together. We could see them together and have a special moment. You could provide my Kleenexes because I do cry sometimes.
I believe it. Oh, love it.
It's so great. But yeah. Anything else, Aaron?
That's
for
it.
us?
I think next week, hopefully, I'll
Yeah.
get you back on the microphone to talk more about the War on Drug experience. Don't let me
Yeah.
forget the portable setup so we can document it from the road.
Yes.
And then-
Anna and I also had an idea, not to interrupt you,
There you
Aaron,
go.
but that transition period, we talking about the music transition from Incubus into sort of the music that maybe is similar, the evolution of music we listen to today, and how we found some of the bands that we really loved for like a decade, like
Yeah.
more than a decade with My Morning Jacket, but Kings of Leon and the music and the Vines, and that sort of came from the end of that like Morning View, because I don't think Incubus released another album until 2004 from
So they gave us a little break, and we
and we sort of found a whole new
Mhm.
space. But so when we started listening to new music and got to be friends with a band called The Music from Leeds, England, who are just the sweetest, greatest guys, super talented. Anna and I were like, yeah, well, maybe we'll see if one of them would come on and talk to us. And Anna was like, maybe the podcast, we could do like expenses paid from the podcast trip will just go to
Hey, you
Leeds.
can write them off on taxes. at least.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we're thinking.
Yeah. It's
We'll
like,
just make
yeah,
it easy on the guys.
Yeah, don't worry.
For sure. Okay. We'll be back next time.